excited that you're here tonight. This is our first ever Purpose Conference, How to Live Your Life on Purpose Conference. And I tell you, I have been enjoying myself as the facilitator, as the instructor, as the trainer, as the leader of our organization putting this on together. And I tell you, I cannot wait to hear your feedback, to see what has been your favorite session, what speaker or topic that really, revealed to you what you need to do to start living your life on purpose. What are some of the assignments that you've been walking away with, knowing you got some homework assignments to complete? I tell you, I have been enjoying this week. So for those of you that are here in our group, again, welcome this evening. And again, I want to thank the people that are already on the chat, saying hi, saying good morning, saying good evening, saying good night. Marshall, I tell you, you've been in there, hanging there with me. I appreciate you. You always are to help kick it off. So as I know, other people will be joining in later, or they'll be watching the replay later, or they'll just be, getting in when they can. I know that people are committed to attending all of the sessions. Remember, there's 14 sessions, everybody. 14 sessions for this entire week. And so I pray this conference has been a blessing to you. So again, my name is Kimberly Benjamin. I'm your instructor for tonight, and we're going to talk about the importance of goal setting and vision planning 101. What are some of the secrets that you can do to get your life back on track on purpose? And so we're going to cover different topics. And again, you can check out the video, hang in here with me tonight, or you can also watch the video later on as well. You're going to have access to all this for 1 year. And who knows, this may be the topic where you need to focus on tonight. This is beginning of the year. You're serious about getting your goals started. You're serious about developing a mission statement or vision statement for your life. I'm going to share with you how to do that. So tonight's session, we'll talk about first goal setting, how to set goals, and giving you some tips that can help you with some of the goals that a lot of people have already submitted to me, as well as some of the topics that people tend to have goals on for the beginning of the year. So I do have some great nuggets for you all, some great resources, some great tips, but also we're going to talk about how do you create your own vision statement? How do you create your own mission statement for your life? And I'm going to share with you my life mission statement, and I'll share with you how I created it so that you're able to walk away tonight and create your own mission statement for your life. So doesn't that sound great? Being able to say you have your very own mission statement, your very own vision for your life. And I'm going to share with you how I created mine. I actually enrolled in a program that allowed us to create it for our lives. And I tell you, that was one of those activities, one of those classes that really touched me. And I knew that this is something that I would live out myself. And it feels good to be able to look back at it and go, wow, I really have accomplished some things. But of course, there are still areas that I need to improve. And so cannot wait to reveal that to you as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into our training today. I'm going to share with you my screen as well. So let's go ahead and pull up this PowerPoint that I have already queued up for you. Okay. And let's dive right into this. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning here. So since we're talking about the importance of being able to, live your life on purpose, we're talking about the importance of you being able to know what you need to do to create your goals, create your vision. What are those things that you need to do? We're going to talk about that today. And hold up, before we begin that, I want to make sure that I did share something. Hold on, hold tight 1 second, everyone. Just want to make sure that I did. One second, just want to make sure. All righty, we did do it. Okay, let's make sure that we did record this as well. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to go back to my screen. Okay, so let's talk about how do you begin creating your goals for the year? What do you need to do, and what are some tips? What are some things? So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want you to purpose in your heart that this year that we're in right now, you will be the best version of yourself, the best version of you. And what I would like for you to do right now is to think of what is the best version of you. And you think of, okay, I'm going to achieve my goals. I'm going to accomplish these things. I got some things I need to work on in my life. You know, what's the best version of you? What does that look like? What does that sound like? How will your life look and be for you? So, and one thing I want to say, everybody, as we go through these slides and go over this presentation, I really do want to invite you to watch it again. Watch it again with your notepad and paper, and you may have to hit that pause button and complete some of these assignments. But I really want you to watch this again so you can really develop your plan for the year and to really answer these critical questions that I'm going to be asking you tonight. So my first question for you is, what is the best version of you? What does that look like? What do you need to do? What do you need to obtain? How do your behavior or your actions need to line up for certain things? Who do you need to reach out to? What are the resources that you may need to be the best version of you? Let's start there with thinking about our best version of ourselves and then take this journey together. Now, today's goal, we want to make sure that we're able to start with God, stay with God, and end with God. A lot of us, we have visions and vision statements and mission statements for our lives and purposes for our lives. We know that starts with the Lord because He created us, right? So whatever you decide to focus on for your goals and for your vision, remember to start with the Lord first. Spend some time before Him to find out what you need to focus on for the year. And then take those steps to actually do it. Okay, make this be the year that you actually do what's instructed. What are those things that you really do need to accomplish? I want you to look back at this year and go, wow, I really did accomplish my goals this year. Okay. So that means that you may have to take some time to get up early in the day and start journaling or writing down your goals. And for some of you, you may already have your goals figured out. You may have already identified your focus for the year. And I know some of you may not have already figured that out. You know, you're still kind of struggling with it, or you still haven't dedicated the time. You really haven't cleared your calendar to really focus on your goals for the year. And so you still have time. I mean, we're early in the year, only a couple of days in. So you have time, but make sure that you schedule it out. So look at your calendar, schedule some time where you really can focus on yourself. I tell you, we work so hard pleasing other people, serving other people, being that mom, that dad, that friend, that someone serving in the church or active in the community or just volunteering, etc. We tend to forget about ourselves. So don't forget about you. Do what you need to do to get your vision and see the vision for your life and start goal setting some goals that you want to obtain this year. So your second assignment tonight, I want you on your notepad, I want you to write this out. List what are your top 7 goals that you have for this year. Whatever they are, write them down. And again, if you're watching the replay, hit the pause button and write your goals down, and then hit the button again so you can continue on with this training and with the seminar. But what are the top 7 goals that you want for this year? Whatever it is. And we're going to cover some topics that people tend to focus on. I'll give you some tips. I think you'll be pleased with some of the tips and nuggets you'll get tonight. But I want you to write down what are your top 7 goals that you want to obtain for this year. And then after you write those 7 goals down, I want you to write down a month or an actual date that you want to have obtained that goal by. I'm a firm believer that a goal is not a goal until you have a date and a time stamp assigned to it. So what is that date and time? What time of day or whatever that 5 o'clock p.m., 8 o'clock a.m., but assign a date and a time stamp on each goal that you have once you figure those out. Once you see that and you have a deadline on it, it makes it real, and then it helps you to work backwards to plan. Okay, so make sure you identify your top 7 goals for the year, and then off to the right hand side for each of those goals, write down what is the actual date, you want to have obtained that goal, and then the time of day or evening or morning that you want to have achieve that goal. Now, I'm a visual learner, so I have a lot of wall charts and a lot of images that helps me with goal setting. And then when I conduct seminars, my clients and students use them as well. But this is one of my favorite visioning charts here, and it's called 5 Bold Steps. And what it does, it allows us to identify what is your vision or your mission for your life. You are right there in the middle of that page. What are your goals, that main goal you want to obtain? Okay, and then there are 5 bold steps. What are those 5 bold steps you're going to take so that you're able to move towards achieving your goal? What are those 5 steps? And then I love this image or this activity because it also gives us an opportunity to identify challenges. What are some challenges that may pop up in our lives as we're going on throughout our day? It's important that we identify those challenges. And some people say to me, Kimberly, why do we need to identify challenges? This should be about positive activity. I don't want to think about challenges or obstacles right now. Let's stay positive and think of our goal. I get that. But there comes a time where when you need to identify the challenges, because should those challenges pop up throughout the year, you will already have a game plan assigned to it. So it won't knock you off course or set you back, okay? So whatever that goal that you have, it's important to identify what are some challenges that may pop up that you should be mindful of. It also gives us an opportunity to write down what are some strong values that you have in your life. What are things that are anchoring you? So no matter whatever goals you have in life, these are the values that you're going to live by. And then on this chart too, it talks about supports. Who are the people that can support you on your journey to obtaining or achieving that goal? So again, these are, I love this activity. It's one of my favorite. It's actually a large wall chart that I blow up and that we can create and draw and color and just keep it in front of you. One of my favorite activities. And then over here where you see the circles, and then this allows us to know what are some things that will happen along the way throughout the year that will let us know that we're on the right path to obtaining our goal. It's important that we identify what are some successes. I think a lot of times we focus on the end goal that we tend to forget to celebrate along the way. So when you look at these circles, it reminds us, okay, what will happen along the year that will allow us to know that we need to celebrate that because we're moving in the right direction. So again, I absolutely love this activity. I'm a visual learner myself, so I love images where I'm able to see things plain and simple and to be colorful and creative with my vision and my goal setting. Now we're going to switch on to another area now, okay? Throughout tonight, when you see this screen goes blank, that means we're switching over to a different area as it relates to goal setting, okay? So some of you may have a vision for getting out of debt. We just had an awesome session last night with Benita Tyler talking about how to live your life on purpose in your finances. She gave us some strategies and a free resource that we can use and download from her website to help us with getting out of debt, right? So for those of you, if you have a goal for getting out of debt, I'll highly recommend for you to watch that training again, watch that seminar, and then do what she says. Do what she says and create that plan and create that budget and use those resources that she mentioned. This is the year that we can do it. And it's important that you are spending the resources and your time to getting out of debt. So check out that recording. You have access to it for a year so you can get the training that you need on that. Now, here's another best practice. Everybody say best practice. This is a resource or an activity, I should say, that can help you to save money. Now, some of you probably have seen some of this on social media, but on the left-hand side here, you see a jar. You can just get a large mason jar in your home, and then what you're going to do is put money in this mason jar. And here on the right-hand side, it lets you know what's on the jar. So for the first week of the year, you would put $1 in there. So that way you're able to at least save $1. for that particular week. Okay. And then the following week, you would put $2 in the jar. And then your total balance will be $3. So just imagine each week, if you're able to set aside money and put it in this jar, that at the end of the year, you can have lots of money. Now, if you followed this particular guideline here and this chart, by the end of the year, the 52nd week of the year, you would have deposited $1,378. Wow. Imagine that you would have that amount of money saved. Right. Now, if for those of you that I call you overachievers, or you say, wait a minute, that's not enough money, I want to save more, feel free. Just use this as a guide. Again, I'm sharing with you some tips and some resources and some best practices that you can use, but you can create your own chart and decide on how much you want to put in your jar each week. Okay, but this is a wonderful way to start saving money. And I tell you one thing though, $1,378, that sounds good to me. Knowing that I can save that, wouldn't that be great? Who knows what you could do with that as well. Okay, so that's just one resource. Okay, I'm going to share with you some other tips along the way. So our goal today is that you do not wait until next week. You don't wait until tomorrow. You don't wait until later. You're able to implement and start goal setting now. So keep in mind, whatever you create or you include on your goal, your vision planning, your goal setting, your vision statement today or this week when you're working on it, that you actually start it. Don't hold off and say, Kimberly, I don't have all the information yet. I'm going to start this next week. No, start now. Start now. And one of the great reasons why you should start now is because sometimes we mess up. Sometimes we don't have everything right. But when early you start in the right path, in the right direction, if you were to make mistakes, you're able to rebound quicker and get over it and brush yourself off and then get back there and get back on schedule again. So know that it may not be perfect. Get started now with it. Get started now. Now, another area that people tend to focus on when it comes to goal setting is relationships. Everybody say relationships, yeah. So on this chart here, it just talks about what are some examples of a healthy relationship. And I know some of us may be thinking, okay, I need to really evaluate my personal relationships, the relationships I have with my colleagues, the relationships that I have with people that are important to me. Some of you maybe have a spouse that you need to evaluate your relationship with that individual. And some of you may be believing the Lord to become married as well. So it's important that we evaluate what's a healthy relationship and what's not. So as you can see here on this chart here, or diagram here, image, it all starts with respect. It's important that whatever relationship that you're in, that respect is there. That's critical. That is the center of that relationship, is that respect. And as you can see here, accountability. Let's start with the top of this. It talks about accountability, being able to admit that someone has been wronged or mistakes have happened, being able to accept responsibility for behaviors and attitudes and values. Evaluate the relationships that you have to see if there's accountability associated with it. Okay, and then over here on the right-hand side, it talks about safety, being able to make sure that you are safe. Here it says refusing to intimidate or manipulate. Make sure that you're not in a relationship where you feel like you're being intimidated or manipulated, and that you are being respectful, and they do respect your space, and that you are able to express yourself nonviolently. And I know we live in a day and age where some people may have unhealthy relationships and may not realize that it is for whatever reason. And that's why I like this chart, because it breaks it down to let us know what are some examples of a healthy relationship. And then the next area talks about honesty. Again, making sure that you do communicate openly and truthfully. Do you have that type of relationship with that individual? You're thinking of that person that's on your mind right now, and you're evaluating, do you have a healthy relationship with them? Are you honest? Are you able to communicate openly with that individual? And then here we see support. Do you support each other in your choices? Are you able to be understood in that relationship? Do you offer encouragement, or does that person offer encouragement? And do they value your opinions or listen to you? So again, that's around support, and how in being supportive and being in a relationship where someone supports you, that's what that looks like. And that is considered to be a healthy relationship. Now let's move on to cooperation. What are some of the things that, what is that experience like working with that person or being with that person? Is it a win-win type of relationship, or is there a lot of conflict? Are you able to make decisions together? Are you able to accept change, or can that person really accept change? So those are some examples of why being able to cooperate with one another is critical in a healthy relationship. And then I'll end with trust. We started with that. On the other slide, we'll end with it as well. Do you really trust each other? And are you able to give the person the benefit of the doubt? And do they give you the benefit of the doubt? So the cool thing I like about this is that you're able to evaluate the relationship, how you treat that person, as well as how they treat you. So make sure that you're able to look at your relationships this year and to really identify if you have a healthy relationship. And some of you may say, well, how does this relate to goal setting and vision planning and all of that? Because I know some of you really do want to have healthy relationships, right? You want a healthy relationship with your spouse. You want a healthy relationship with your friends and with your family members and with your coworkers, right? We need people. People are in our lives all day, all the time. And it's important that you evaluate if that relationship is a healthy relationship or if it's a relationship that you may have to dissolve, okay? The way you treat yourself sets the standard for others. So it's important that you dedicate some time realizing, how do you really treat yourself? Do you really love yourself? Are you treating yourself as if you love yourself? So we have to look at how we're treating ourselves as well. And we hear all the time that people treat us the way that, we allow. Whatever we allow, that's how they treat us. And I know that's kind of negative to say, but it's the truth. So if you're not happy about how someone is treating you, look at how you're accepting it or what you're allowing to happen. Okay. So another assignment that I want you to write down on your notepad now and to complete later is, what are some standards, that you hold for yourself? So what standards do you hold yourself to? What's important to you? When you think of people that you want to be around, what's important to you? When you think of what's critical with your character that you want to uphold and demonstrate, and when people think of you, they think of these certain criteria or words or character traits. What are the standards you hold yourself to? And some of you may have identified some standards earlier in your childhood from your parents or from your the person who raised you and family members. But take some time to really identify, what are your standards? Are your standards high, or your standards have been pretty low, and you've allowed some things to kind of creep into your life and set you off on a different path? That's moving you away from your vision and moving you away from the vision for your life, your mission and vision for your life. So it's critical that we don't waste time and that we don't waste our life, and that we do have a plan and we have goals that we want to obtain, and we have a vision statement and we have a mission statement for our life. So time is important. And I think sometimes we get so used to saying, oh, I have time, we can do this later, I'll work out later, or we have time, I'll hang in this relationship because I love this person, etc. And right now I'm just talking about relationships in general, not marriage, because I know with marriage that's different. There's some other things, other criteria you need to look at regarding that. But don't waste your life. Your time is valuable. Make sure you're doing things that are working towards your goal and obtaining your goals this year. Time is not refundable. Other things are, but when that time goes, it's gone, y'all. So it's important that you really value time. And that's why I mentioned in the other session the importance of getting up earlier. If you have some goals to obtain this year, you may have to get up earlier to get started with it. Who knows, that may be a better time to work on it anyways, because it's nice and quiet. There's no distraction. You're able to focus on the most important tasks and important things early in the morning before your day gets started. But remember, time is non-refundable. So make sure that you do value your time properly. And I love this image here. It says, would you date you? So for those of you that may have a goal for relationships and marriage and all of that, really evaluate your character, evaluate your behavior, evaluate, would you date yourself? Isn't that something to think about? Would you date you? And really take a hard look at that. I really think that would be a great exercise for you to do after this video, after watching this video, is to really think, okay, would I date myself? Or if you believe to be in a relationship, what are some of the things you want that relationship to look like? How would you want to act and be in that type of relationship? So would you date yourself? That's a really great question. And who knows, you may identify there's some things you need to work on. So I don't want you to be down on yourself if you may say, Kimberly, I really wouldn't date myself right now. I would say for us right now, thank God for that revelation right now, but you can fix it, you can change it, you can improve. And that's why I love the topic of goal setting and vision planning, because you can create your plan and change that, and then really be that person that you would want to date. Right. So you can change it. But the important thing is to get started, take that time and ask that serious question, and then listen and see what comes to your mind and see what you need to do to change. So as you know, I'm going to have you work on that project as well. So on your notepad, write down what are 7 reasons why you would date yourself. 7 reasons why you would. Okay. That's your assignment. And who knows, you may reveal some things that you need to work on, and that's okay. It's important to look at the positive and the negative here, but I want you to really evaluate that. I really think when you go through that exercise, it will allow you to realize how your behavior needs to change. Are you really happy? Are you really getting out and doing things? Do you have that type of behavior or atmosphere that people really want to be around? Are you positive? I know for me, just as a transparency moment, I think the business side of me sometimes tends to be critical. I'm trying to obtain goals. I'm being focused on certain things. I realize I probably could be hard on myself and other people. So I am learning to, let people be themselves and, not be so hard on everybody. Everything doesn't need to be completed, that the coach in me. But I just want you to know that, there are areas that I need to work on as well. So again, the Lord may reveal to you things to work on, everybody. Write it down. Don't shun away from it. Just write it down. And then he'll give you the plan and the strategy of what you need to do to obtain that going forward. Okay. And then again, list some things you need to work on before your next relationship. So you're thinking of the things that you would do to date yourself, reasons why you would date yourself. And then we're thinking of things you may need to work on in your next relationship. Okay, I believe we had a question. Hold on 1 second. It went away. 1 second. I'm trying to get back to the screen. There it is, the chat. All right. Oh, hey, Daryl. I see you just joined us. Thank you. All right. I don't know if you had a question. So welcome everybody. So again, we're just talking about the importance of looking at relationships. And I know a lot of us are thinking about, okay, where you want to have stronger relationships. Some of you may have lost friendships. People may have left your life last year, and you're trying to, just move forward with that or seek the Lord's face regarding how you handle that. But I do think it's important that we do look at our relationships, okay, and how we can be a better person this year going forward. So again, I told you, whenever you see this blank screen, that means we're moving into a different area that people tend to have goals on, okay? And then at the end, we're going to focus on, I'm going to show you how to create your own vision statement and mission statement. So now we're moving to the area of food. Yes. Eating healthy. Some people may say, you may be the person saying, I want to make sure I eat healthy this year. I said I was going to eat healthy and eat the right foods and stuff. This is the time to do it. So I want to encourage you to do some research, get some books. You may want to consider enrolling in some programs to help you with knowing what foods to eat. That's really good for your body and good for your organs. So do the research. And this is a time where a lot of people may be going on different types of fast or detoxing their body by taking different types of juices or creating their own healthy juices and clearing out their system. It's a perfect time to do that. So there are a lot of resources out there. So if you're saying, Kimberly, I know I need to detox and juice and just, to begin the year off right by being mindful as to what I put in my body, type that down below if that's one of your goals. I know that's a lot of our goals. That's why I've included some extra slides in here, just letting you know, here's some tips for you regarding that. So again, be mindful as to what you're eating. As you can see here, there's certain things you should have for different parts of your body. So if you have struggled in a particular area, be mindful as to what you should be eating to fuel your body properly. Okay, and then the following slides here just gives you some examples of foods that are good. So here's some good foods that are good for workout. So for those of you who said that you're going to work out this year, and that's a good step and a good goal, but it's important that you eat healthy too. That supports that. And the next 6 or 7 slides just give you examples of food that could be a really good plan for you. Now we're talking about vision planning, right? Mission statements and vision planning and goal setting tonight. Add this in your goal plan. So here's some foods you can have before workout. Some smoothies. They have in here oatmeals, nuts with fruits. A lot of people may have egg whites that can be very healthy. This is actually one of my favorite snacks. My sister laughs at me when I make it. She hasn't tried it yet, but she knows she should because it's good. But I love peanut butter. And actually, the other day, I kind of had one of those days where, I was a little concerned about my sister, and I found out that she was fine and everything was well. And then she came over to the house, and guess what she had in the bag, y'all? A big bottle of peanut butter. Because she knows what makes me happy. And I just looked there, I was like, oh, she got me peanut butter. It is so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. But it's important that you do eat healthy. Okay, and here it gives you an example of peanut butter and toast and bananas. That's a nice healthy snack. And you can see the other things that are here too that you can have before workout. So again, this gives you some ideas. My goal is to give you some tips. Here are some foods that are really good for your metabolism. So for those of you who may say, I'm getting older, you're getting older, your metabolism may be slowing down some. Here's some examples of food that can boost your metabolism. So you may want to check out or write down some of these as lemon and tea and watermelon and apples, spinach and cucumber, and garlic and tomatoes. So again, you may want to incorporate that in your plan as you're working out, okay, and as you're eating healthy. Here's some foods that can help you with weight loss. Eating your fruits and vegetables. They have on here apples and oats. Salmon is in here as well. And they even have cranberries, cranberry juice, almonds, etc., and low-fat yogurt. So again, you may want to consult your doctor, your physician, so that you can make sure you're eating the food that's best for you and your body's condition. But I want to give you some tips to help you with eating healthy this year, okay? Now, this slide here lets you know what foods are great for you to eat after you work out, okay? And it's food that has protein in it, so it's like really making sure that your body is rejuvenating itself and building back up. But as you can see here, they have scrambled eggs here. Avocado with toast is one. You see salmon and tuna again here. Peanut butter, there's my peanut butter, y'all, and apples is a nice snack. Some people have protein bars that they have after they work out, or protein drinks after they work out. And it's always really good to invest in some dried fruits and nuts as well, because you get a lot of protein from that. You just have to be mindful as to how many you eat, because that can have a lot of calories, but be mindful. So those are just some foods you can have after you work out. Now on this slide, it lets you know what food you should have to gain muscle. So again, you see the proteins, the eggs, the tuna, again, those protein drinks. It even has on here skinless chicken and fruits and vegetables and some lean beef. So again, these are some tips to help you with what can you have when you work out. Now I have on here, Daryl says peanut butter is good, but you have tried almond butter. You know what? I was told by many people to stop having peanut butter and to have almond butter. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. So you know what, Daryl, that will be my goal this year, is to make sure that I get away from peanut butter and to have almond butter more. You're absolutely right. I've had many nutritionists tell me that. My doctor even told me that, and it's healthier. So you're right. So thank you for reminding me of that. I'll make sure to have that on my goal chart this year, to have almond butter instead. And I have tried it before and I liked it. It wasn't bad. So, and I love almonds. So thank you for reminding me. And thanks for checking in on me too. Feel free to follow up to make sure that I'm using and eating almond butter versus the peanut butter. All right. So the next one we have on here is food that helps you to burn belly fat. Again, you see the oatmeals, the berries, the green tea, that's a staple. I see that green tea on a lot of these slides. And again, vegetables and whole grains. So again, if you need food to burn belly fat, these are some foods you can eat that can help you with that as well. Wow, so did you enjoy that segment, everybody, regarding the food? If you did, type yes, that you did. I tell you one thing, when I found those slides, I keep them in my phone and I love them. I love using them. I am the leader of our Proverbs 31 Women group. So every morning we have devotional. Every morning there's a scripture that we, read, and we just talk about, what does that scripture mean to me? And then we have examples of food or how to prepare different meals and working out and all of that. So that's my world. I love it. So I'm glad to be able to share that with you regarding goal setting, because I know many of you, that's a goal this year, is to eat healthy, right? And to eat right. So let's move on to our next area for goals. Let's see what's coming up. There it is, y'all. The scale. Talking about weight loss. So for you, I want to give you a tip. Beginning of the year, how about getting on the scale, writing down what your weight is? And for those of you that have the measurement tape, also get your body measurements. Take your body measurements from your waist, your shoulders, your hips, and all of that. And then if you really want to make sure that you have a before image, have somebody take a before picture of you. So you have your workout clothes on and have somebody take a full body picture from the side, the front, and the back. So it's important that you understand that we're moving towards the physical fitness now. And we will never know how much weight we lost if we don't get on the scale. So don't be afraid to get on the scale and to know that you have a starting point. Okay? So get on the scale, write it down, and then have a goal as to how much you want to weigh as well. Now, even though this wall chart here is for January 2017, I did purchase the January 2018 one. So it has a page for every month. So you may want to get a big wall chart calendar and find it and put it somewhere in your house. I have it in my office area. And on that calendar, that could be a wonderful place where you can log when you worked out, or you can log when you had food, or you can log when you had your water, etc., or whatever you need to monitor each day for your goal, your health goal. And for those of you that may have other goals, feel free to use this wall chart for that too. But I know for me, I use it for health. And I probably will add a couple other things on there for me to see every day too. Just like Benita last night, she mentioned for us as business owners, we need to know the deadlines to submit our taxes, the deadlines to make our payments, etc. Remember that from last night? And she's mentioned how it could be good to put it on a calendar too. So on my calendar, I have other important deadline dates on here as well. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this calendar. Okay, On each day, you come up with the categories that you want. So for me, I have on here current weight, exercises that I did for the day, the food that I had for that day, calories that I burned for the day, because I'm able to calculate that when I'm working out on different machines. How long did I work out? And then how many glasses of water did I have? Now, you come up with whatever you want to measure, whatever you want to keep track of. Those are just some examples that could be a great start for you. Okay, but the cool thing is, and the main thing is that you start today and you keep track of it. Okay, and then you have this calendar somewhere where you walk past it, you see it all the time, and then you're keeping that vision in front of you. Now, another thing that I do, I also have little red, yellow, green stars. So you may want to go to a supply store, get a little packet of stars or dots. And then when you complete a particular thing, like for me, when I work out or drink water, because those are the major things that I tend to struggle with, I will put that gold star or that blue star or whatever on that day. So when I walk past this calendar, I can see at a glance that I worked out that day and that I had my water in. Okay. And for those of you that are already ahead of me saying, but how much water do I drink? You know, I got you covered. That's coming up on our presentation too. Okay. But the main thing I want you to know is that don't wait for those perfect conditions. We talked about this earlier this week. Get out there and exercise. Even if you have to exercise in your home, use the internet. You can use your phone. Go to YouTube, look up some videos for exercising, and then prompt that phone or your laptop somewhere and then do those exercises. There are apps now where people download and use apps that have examples of exercises. And some of you may even have DVDs of old videotapes, etc. I know I have the Insanity packet that I use rarely. So I'm embarrassed to even tell you that. So I know for me, I have no excuse. Even if I don't leave the house, I could go downstairs and stick that DVD in for the day and get my exercise in. So look at what you have in your home that can help you stay focused with getting fit. Okay. And here's a nice little chart that lets you know when people start seeing your results. It takes 4 weeks for you to see your body changing. It takes 8 weeks for your friends to see it. It takes 12 weeks for the rest of the world to start noticing, wait a minute, she looks different. Wait a minute, Daryl looks different. So keep going, everybody. It's going to take some time, but stick with it. Stick with your exercise regimen. Don't give up. And it's important that you do imagine yourself. So if you could imagine yourself 6 weeks out, what would you look like? What would it be? Or what size would you be in? Or what would be your measurements, etc. You know, whatever it is that you want to measure. But imagine yourself 6 months out, excuse me, not 6 weeks, 6 months out from now. And I want to encourage you that it's going to be worth it. All right. So for those of you who have said, okay, Kimberly, you're right. I want to make sure I work out. You can do it. Okay. So again, how would you change for the better 6 months out? That's an assignment for you. I want you to create a list of what would you need to do to change for the better 6 months out. Or what would you look like 6 months out? We're talking about fitness right now. What would have changed in your body or in your life or in your behavior and your habits 6 months out? We need to keep that vision in front of us. Remember, we're talking about vision, so we need to make sure that we keep the vision in front of us. All right. Marshall says, are there any notifications for the daily devotional? Is it possible to lose belly resulting from medications? Yeah, I would say definitely consult with your doctor before you start any exercise regimen, just to make sure that you are safe and healthy and that you have the right type of vitamins and other types of supplements if they want you to take them. So I would say your question regarding the daily devotionals, for the daily devotionals in our group, we just have a scripture and people comment on there as to how they're going to apply what they've learned or what sticks out to them in that scripture. Now, there are other resources you can use too, so you may want to check on Google to find out. And I forget the name of one that my mentor uses. I'm going to have to find it and I will post it in our group. But there are a lot of daily devotionals that you can use. But it's important to find the one that's best for you. But you can find apps and find them on Google. So I'm going to take that assignment back myself and find the one that my mentor mentioned and post it in our group for us. Okay? Perfect. So you can do it, everybody. Now remember the water intake question? There it is. There it is. So based off of your body weight, it lets us know how much water we really should be drinking. And then what that looks like in bottle sizes and ounces. Okay? So based off of your weight, how much water should you really be drinking? And I know for me, I need to drink a lot of water. I've had my doctor tell me years ago that I was dehydrated. And so I know I have to make sure I drink my water. And to be honest with you all, that's one thing that I've struggled with. And I think it's just because I really didn't focus on it every day. I kind of just gotten used to my routine. But it's important that your body is hydrated and it has the right amount of water. And here's one strategy on how you can do it. I've always been told when you first wake up, make sure you have some water. Before you eat, make sure you get some water. And then this is the water challenge right here. You can use a gallon of milk, your gallon of milk jug, put on there different times of the day, and make sure that you drink that water. So by the end of the day, all that water will be gone out of that jug. So that's what we have going on right now in our Proverbs 31 Women group, as well as that's something that I've done in the past. And my goal is to do better with that, because I can only imagine how my body feels and what my cells are saying. And they're so glad when water gets in there and we got vitamins and eating healthy. You know, I kind of laugh, me and my sister kind of laugh about, you know, what we say, how our body is glad that, hey, you know, I'm glad you're drinking water. I'm glad you're eating right. And they need help. Because if we haven't been taking care of our body's been trying to take care of itself all by itself, y'all. And this is the year that we need to work with our body, right? So if water is something you need to do, here's another tip for you, is to get your gallon, put your name on that jug there and fill it up with water and monitor how much water you drink, so that at the end of the day, you have had your water, your daily intake of water. Now, some people like vision boards. They may want images of their goals on boards. You're going to see a lot of people do vision board parties and all of that. Feel free to consider that as well. I'm going to share with you a couple of tips regarding that. So if you decide to go, you could, or if you can just create it at home, you could. Okay. So the main thing is that you speak what you seek until you see what you've said. So this talks to your confession, making sure that your words are lining up with your vision. Okay. Now here on this chart, on this slide, are images that I took from off of my phone. You know, when you're on your cell phone and you see a post that you like off of Facebook and you can save it to your phone, or you may go to Google.com and then click on the images word, and then images will pop up and you can type in there whatever image you're trying to find. I do that all the time. And so here are just some images of my wall chart, my vision board from last year, talking about being fit and drinking water and loving yourself and working on the money to get out of debt and keeping your refrigerator stocked with healthy food and being fit. You know, that's really important to me, and being fit and standing on the word, as you can see there. And then the other one I have on here just talks about, again, being fit and healthy and all of that stuff, you know. So again, you come up with the images that are important to you. And some people cut them out of magazines and put them on a board and hang it up. You could do that, or you can just snapshot the pictures on your phone. Snapshot the pictures on your phone, and then pull up all your photos on your phone, and all those images will be right there in order like that. And then I took it to Kinko's, FedEx Kinko's, that image, and they blew it up on a board. So again, you don't have to do the cutting out images out of newspapers and all that if you don't want to. You can just use the technology and do it. But I would say just get started with it. Identify, you know, your vision for your life this year and get started. So it's important that you do have your vision, you do have your goals, and we're putting together a strategy and you're developing your action plan. Okay. And I know for me, it starts with the word. So I have to put that in there for me. It starts with the word for me. Now I'm going to share with you my vision statement. And this is where you may want to sit back and think about how can you create your vision statement for your life. I promised you that I would share with you mine. I created this maybe around 12 years ago, and it's been a while. And so there's some things I still need to work on, but it feels really good to see that some of the things have been completed already. So for you, I want you to think about, what is your vision for your life? What is your mission for your life? Okay, I know those are broad questions, and you're probably saying, I need more direction, Kimberly. So, I got you. But right now, let's focus all of our attention to you. For the rest of your life, what's your vision? What's important to you? What do you want people to think about with you or experience when they're with you? What are some scriptures that you're going to stand on for the rest of your life? What are some things that you're believing God for in your life? What are some of the goals that you have? Okay, so that's where we're headed, everybody. Okay. Now, so on this slide here, you see my mission statement. And here it just talks about my mission statement for my life is to have a loving, giving, faithful, prosperous, fun, exciting, healthy, confident, worry-free, patient, and pure life where I continue to meet Christians while personally growing closer to God on a second-by-second basis, not the daily basis. This is more than just a daily thing. So for you, I want you to think about your overarching statement of what your mission statement is. And again, after this video, you can hit the pause button, look at this section, create your own. It can look like this or not. It's all totally up to what's important to you, your words, what's important to you in your life. And then after that, I created a section here with bullet statements, okay? And then my bullet statements here is like my I statement. And I want you to think about your I statements. If you were to come up with a list of 10 different things, starting with I, starting with you, I, what would those statements sound like? What would they end up to be? So here are mine. I love God. I have the love of God. I'm a giving person. I am an excellent human resource professional. I know the word of God. I have integrity. I am committed to excellence. I am healthy. I am an excellent wife. I am an excellent mother. I enjoy life. I am financially secure. I balance my work and personal life time well. And I am a precious friend to others. So I want you to think about your I statements. What's important to you? Because those I statements will make up your mission statement. Okay? So again, what's important to you? Start with I. And this may be something that you work on this week. The Lord may reveal to you some more things to add to it. A lot of people don't have a mission statement for their life. So you're already ahead of the game. Even if you don't complete it entirely this week, you getting started on it and coming up with half of it or 6 bullets, etc., is a start. Okay? But what is your mission statement for your life? So that's the first step. Okay? Now, after that, I break it down because one thing about me, I need examples. I want to know, what does this look like? What does each of these bullet point statements look like? What are my behaviors? What do I need to do to make sure that I love God? What do I need to do to make sure that I am healthy? You understand where I'm headed, everybody? So the first page is kind of like an overarching one that talks about your mission, what's important to you. Then you have around 15 or so bullet statements, your I statements. Okay? And then the next page, you break it down. So these are actually all those I statements. I love God. I have the love of God. Those are all those I statements, everybody. This has moved over to 2 pages long. Okay? And then under each I statement, I list out, what does that look like? What behavior needs to happen? So as an example here, I have here as I am an excellent wife. I exemplify godly character qualities that will cause me to be a blessing to my husband. I am knowledgeable in the areas of that my husband needs help. So again, you come up with what those behaviors look like for your I statements. Okay. And then one thing that I always do, I always anchor what's important to me, my vision, all that with the scripture. So that's just what I do. So that's something that you would do too. I would say then find that scripture that you're going to anchor your vision statement on. Okay. And that's how you create your mission statement for your life, your vision statement for your life. Now, what I would like for you to do is make sure you get started today. Make sure you get started this week with your mission statement. It's not hard, everybody. It's really about you pulling out that notepad, that journal, and just coming up with what is that overarching mission statement for your life. And then what are your I statements? Remember, what are those I statements you have? And then come up with examples of behaviors. And I tell you one thing, you'll be amazed that when you start lining your behavior up with your vision, your mission for your life, yeah. It's amazing to me when I go back and look at this and go, wow, I really am working on this stuff. So that's how you would create it, okay? So what I would like to do now is to open this up for questions. Does anyone have any questions you would like to ask me regarding creating your mission statement or your vision statement? Or if you have any questions regarding the slides that I shared with you regarding setting goals and being healthy and all of that, do you have any questions at this time? And again, this is a recording. This is a live one now, but you will be able to access the training and the recording later. And this is being aired live right now in our Facebook group. So if you need to watch it after we hang up, then you'll be able to just log into our group and you'll see the video in there as well. So are there any questions? I love this topic of vision planning. All righty. So we have a question here that says, your I statements, are they affirmations? Yeah, I guess you would consider that they would be. Mm-hmm. People call them different things, but the main thing is that, you know, what's your confession or affirmations? What are you saying about yourself? What are you claiming about yourself? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So have fun, everybody, creating your vision statement. Have fun creating your mission statement for your life. Know that you may not complete it all in one day. You know, this is pretty important. So, you know, you may be working on this and getting some new ideas and nuggets, but make sure that you start today. Make sure you start today. Just imagine you're in this new year, and this is a new year where you're going to have a vision statement for your life, for the rest of your life. So I'm really excited that you're here. I'm looking forward to being able to follow up with each and every one of you and see what you came up with for your vision statement, for your mission statement. I'm looking forward to following back up with you mid-year to see how things are coming along with the goals that you have regarding the fitness and the finances and all of that stuff. And again, watch this video over and over and stop and pause it and complete the assignments along the way. Those questions that I ask you in this training, make sure you stop and actually complete it. It will help you to create that vision and that mission and that goal plan for your life this year. So everybody have a wonderful evening. I look forward to seeing you back tomorrow. I want to thank you for hanging in there. I know we've been hanging tough, right, this week with the training. One of the things I want you to remember, though, is the reason why I've stretched it out is so that if you're able to if you're able to attend it live, great. If you have other commitments, that's not a problem because you already know it's going to be recorded. I got you covered. I believe in recording stuff. And then you already know you have access to it for a year in our training. So you can log into our group and get access to the videos that way. Okay, so no problems at all. All right, so you all have a wonderful evening, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Our next session tomorrow is at 12 o'clock, and we will have our session on how to discover your purpose in business. with Denise Wanamaker. I actually will be doing a dry run with her right now to make sure that the technology works properly for us. But it's scheduled for noon tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at noon, okay? So you all have a wonderful evening, and be blessed. And remember, what am I going to say, everybody? Today's a great day to what? Let me see you type it. Today's a great day to what? Can you finish the statement? To start living your life on purpose. Yes, it is, y'all. You guys are doing it. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'll talk to you soon, okay? All right. Bye-bye.